Hey guys, Pro1701 here, and today we're going to talk about Russell T Davies coming back as the showrunner for Doctor Who. I'm never quite sure if it's supposed to be Davis or Davies. Either way, this is great news. I am really excited about it. It's not something I expected to happen. As I mentioned in my short video yesterday, this really came out of the blue. One of the things when I was talking about the show needed to do for Series 14, I believe I did mention, was bringing him back maybe to write an episode, or bring him back to kind of shepherd the new showrunner. But I didn't think they'd actually get him back because I didn't think he wanted to come back. I thought he'd talked about that before. But it is really good news. I'm really excited. But for me, unlike some people, I think this can be good and bad. I mean, it could go either way, honestly. We never really know yet. But there are good things and bad things about this announcement, and I think it's good to look at both of them. Let's look at some of the good stuff. Everybody knows the Russell T Davies era is probably the best era of the modern series. Not necessarily everybody's favorites, but a lot of people's favorites. Objectively, the best one. One of the best eras, I think, in all of Doctor Who. It's really good. Series 1 is almost perfect. Series 3 is almost perfect. Series 4 is a lot of people's favorites. And for me, is nearly perfect. Definitely got the best Doctor companion duo in the modern series, in my opinion. I love Donna, and I love 10 with Donna. Series 2 is really the only mixed bag, and in Series 2, the highs are really high and the lows are really low, but those highs are really good. It's such a strong era. I actually have a video about the Tennant era, the 10th Doctor's era, which was supposed to go out today. Y'all will probably be seeing that tomorrow or Monday, where I talk about the Tennant era and the Russell T Davies era as a whole, so it's interesting that this news drops now. But it is really good. You know, a lot of people, who grew up with the modern series, this, of course, is where they started. They've grown up being fans of this era and being fans of Russell T Davies. You know, this is really big for them. And there is the potential for the show to get back on track, which I like. But let's look at some of the problems with this announcement, some of the potential bad things. Part of it is the fact so many people grew up in this era. They're automatically, like, as soon as the announcement's made, their expectations are here, like way up here. Like, I've already had one person down in the comments on my first video talked about how they grew up watching the era, how they loved the show, and their last sentence was, "Doctor Who is saved!" And this is exactly the kind of post that worries me. And I'm glad they're excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy that so many people are excited. I'm excited, but I never ever want to criticize someone for being happy about Doctor Who. But this kind of thinking worries me, because when your expectations are here, that means when his era of the show starts coming out, it's got to be here. You know, with Russell's era being so well regarded and him being so well regarded as a showrunner, automatically a lot of Doctor Who fans, but especially ones that grew up starting in that era, they are expecting a lot. Their expectations are up there. That is not going to be an easy thing to meet, especially for the people who are, the modern series has been, I never call it New Who anymore because it's been on for, 16 years? So I call it the modern series. It's been on for so long that people who started watching it when they were 5, 6, 7 years old, they're adults now, which is very humbling now that I think about it. They're grown. They've grown up with this. This is part of their childhood. So they're going to be looking at it the way a lot of us look at, like, Tom Baker's era, or, just classic Who in general, or John Pertwee's era, Troughton's era. Eras that we grew up with as kids. For me, growing up in the 80s, watching PBS reruns here in the States of the classic show. Mostly, really a little bit of all the classic Doctors. Except for really Hartnell. Didn't really show much Hartnells. But, that childhood era for us, the Russell T Davies is for them. And so they have the nostalgia glasses, the ruby red tinted glasses, They're looking at that, so their expectations may be even higher. And that's what the show is going to have to live up to. And I think when you immediately get your expectations, that high, it is really hard to live up to that. It's going to be very easy to be disappointed if it isn't. Because let's keep in mind that it's been 2009, by the time he starts in 2023, he will have been gone 14 years, and people change. He's a talented writer, don't get me wrong. I enjoy the Sarah Jane Adventures Away. He's a very talented writer. But his writing style may have changed. He himself may have changed. He may not be the same type of showrunner. The BBC itself has changed. Their policies are so different now from where they were from 2005 to 2009 with all of the political stands they take and their agendas that they push. And I guarantee you a lot of the stuff that started really coming around toward the end of the Moffat era and a lot of the agendas that look like, and a lot of people feel that has been pushed in the Chibnall era, that's not going to just magically go away unless they give Russell just full control over everything. And that's whether or not what he wants to keep and what he wants to get rid of. So the BBC are definitely going to have their hands in the pie, more than likely to an extent. And a lot of it's what Russell wants to do. We don't know exactly what he's going to keep and what he's going to get rid of from the Chibnall era. Is he going to retcon the Timeless Children? Is he going to keep the Timeless Children? We don't know what he's going to do with what Chibnall has done with the series, because it really does, I think the show is going to have to go a long way toward digging itself out of this hole that Chibnall has dug for the show. And keeping in mind, I'm someone who enjoyed most of Series 12 for the most part, although I thought the finale was crap for multiple reasons. I don't like the whole Timeless Children thing. So it has a long way to dig itself out of that. Another thing I do like is that it looks like he's getting Julie and James at their back. The people who helped produce the original era with him, he's getting them back, bringing in their company, Bad Wolf. Really excited about that. I love having the original team together. They all seem to work well together. That's a good sign for the show. Other things, again, we don't know what he's going to keep, what he's going to get rid of. I think there's a few things, possibly the chance of Ollie Alexander being cast as the next Doctor, of course, goes up now with him and Russell knowing each other from Mists of Sin. I think his chances go up. I think it pretty much kills any chances of Eccleston being in the 60th anniversary as the Ninth Doctor. I don't think him and Russell get on well, so I don't think we will get Chris back as the Ninth Doctor in the 60th. Trying to think of some of the other things that concern me. Big concern I have is that we might not get a season until 2024 at this rate. I mean, because keep in mind, season 13 is only supposed to be 6 episodes. That's basically half a season. So we get half a season in 2021. In 2022, we only get like 3 specials. And in 2023, if they don't do season 24 right there, we only get the 60th anniversary. That's a long time to go without a whole series. I really hate how Doctor Who does that now when they skip years without seasons. They go like a whole year without a season. I hate when they do that. And I think going in 2021 with half a season, 2022 with just some specials, and 2023 without anything but the 60th is too long. I think fans are going to lose interest. We don't want to wait that long for a whole season, at least a 10-episode season. Give me that. So 2023, especially being the anniversary year, needs to have a full season. Series 14 needs to come out in 2023. Somehow, before the 60th, after the 60th. I don't care. It needs to come out in 2023 because making us wait till 2024 is too long. So, just trying to think of some of the more stuff on the bad. My mind is going blank. A lot of it really is, I think, just fan expectation getting a little too high. Also, there is one other thing. I've always said, for people who watch the channel, I've always said that I never think that a previous Doctor should come back. I mean, we know they can. With Tom Baker as the curator, we know the Doctor can reassume old faces. But I don't ever think they should. Like, as much as I love David Tennant, I don't think he should come back and be, like, the main Doctor. I'm cool with him coming back for multi-Doctor stories, but I wouldn't want him to come back and be the Doctor. I wouldn't want Capaldi to come back and be the Doctor. I wouldn't want McCoy to come back and be the Doctor, unless it's like a little one-off thing. As much as I love those Doctors, I always worry that anytime a previous Doctor returns as a new incarnation of the Doctor, it's the show losing steam and them going, oh, look, did you miss David Tennant? We've recast David Tennant as the 14th Doctor. Hey, look, y'all, it's still 2006. Remember when Doctor Who was awesome? And, instead of evolving and looking toward the future, it's Doctor Who looking too much at the past. And the casting of Russell T. Davies does feel kind of like that. It's like they're going, hey, guys, we know you love Russell and you love Russell's era. Remember 2006? Wasn't 2006 really cool? Wasn't Doctor Who awesome then? Well, we got him back. It's time for Doctor Who to be awesome again. Yay! So you kind of get this kind of the snake eating its own tail thing and Doctor Who folding in on itself. And there is that potential for that feeling of, we want you to remember when Russell was the showrunner and things were awesome. Well, we got Russell back. Things are going to be awesome again. Ha ha! And so that does concern me. That I do get a little nervous about that. That is a caution I have in the back of my head. That they're looking back instead of looking forward. And there was another point I was going to go with that, but again, my mind keeps slipping away from me. It's just been that kind of day, you know? There is more to that, and my mind is just going blank. I should have wrote all this down and made notes, put that notepad to use. But I'm excited about it overall, despite all the negative stuff I am saying. I am excited about it. I do think he can get the show back, hopefully on track. I'm being cautiously optimistic, though. I'm not just, the show is saved, hallelujah, hallelujah. You know, I'm not just going with wild abandon, because I don't want my expectations to be up here. It's more my expectations right here. That way I won't be super disappointed if it doesn't live up to it. Because again, so many things at the BBC are different. So many things with Russell may be different. We don't know what Russell wants to do. Now, I'm hoping he brings back Graham Harper. I know it seems like him and Graham Harper get along really well. Please get back Graham Harper. I hope he gets back some of the writers from his era, because there's so many good stories from his era. I want the writers back. I want Graham Harper and some of the other directors back. I'm not saying, you know, as I was just saying, I'm not saying I want it to completely fold in on his past. Sure, bring in new people as well, but, you know, have some of the veterans back too. You know, I want to see more of Captain Jack. Him and Russell seem to get on well, so I would love, you know, hopefully everything with John Barrowman's. I think that's enough times passed. We can put that all behind us. Never really bothered me anyway, and we can move on to the future. But I had something else I wanted to say, but I don't remember. But I do think there is good and bad to come out of this. I think it's good because Russell's era is so good, but I'm worried that they're trying to blindside us with that. It's like, hey guys, Russell's back, Russell's back, Russell's back. Big sign that says Russell's back, Russell's back, Russell's back. Everybody can stop panicking now. I remember the other thing I wanted to say. I think this is the closest we are ever going to get to the BBC admitting that the Chibnall stuff was a mistake. Because I do think this is them trying to course correct it. This is them trying to fix the ship. They know they screwed up. I am convinced of this. They know the Chibnall era hasn't worked. They know the actual fans, the real fans, the one that go out and buy the DVDs, buy the merchandise, buy the board games. You remember how much Doctor Who merchandise was on the shelf 10 years ago? I certainly do. I could go down to my Borders. It had its own section compared to what little bit's on the shelves now. Yeah, the BBC remembers that too. So they know the Chibnall era is by a lot of fans. I'm not saying all the fans. I'm not saying if you like Chibnall, you're not a real fan. There are plenty of people out there who've been watching the show since the 60s or 70s who are fine with the Chibnall era. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion on that. But I think a large majority of us, like old school classic Who fans, just aren't too keen on the Chibnall era, and we think it's been a misstep. I think the BBC realizes that, and I actually think they agree. They'll never say it because they're way too busy just stroking themselves and stroking each other, because that's what they do. You see Russell in his announcement, and Chibnall's my hero, and we still have more stuff to do for him, and yay, and then Chibnall's over there, and Russell's so awesome, and he's so amazing, and yay, and they just rather stroke themselves, and they stroke each other, and that's what the BBC does with all their policies. They just sit around, and he strokes him, and he strokes them, and they sit in a circle stroking each other. It's just one big stroke job at the BBC these days. That's what it is. This is the closest that we will ever get to them admitting they screwed up, and they're trying to course correct. So like, man, what can we do to fix Doctor Who? Everybody loved when Russell was there. Let's get Russell back. Yeah. Russell, please come back. Please come back. It's like the sequel trilogy. You had J.J. Abrams, and everybody kind of liked The Force Awakens when it came out, even though it was a lot like A New Hope. Everybody liked it. It was okay. It was nice. It was more what it was setting up, though. Then they got Rian Johnson, and a lot of people didn't like Last Jedi. Me among them. Hate Last Jedi. Piece of crap. So they got Abrams back, even though he wasn't originally supposed to do 9. They were like, well, everybody seemed to like 7. Let's get Abrams. Abrams, save us. Abrams, save us. And then Abrams had to basically cram 2 movies into 1 movie, because he basically did his Episode 8 and his Episode 9 in Rise of Skywalker, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Keep in mind, that's not the first time this has happened in Doctor Who. When Graham Williams came in, you know, it's because the Hinchcliffe era was too dark and too dangerous, and Mary Waterhouse was blah, 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 blah. And so they were like, well, tone it down, make it campy. And we got the Williams era, which is held as high regard as the Hinchcliffe era, even though it was supposed to fix the Hinchcliffe era and make it lighter and less dangerous. Which one's, well, much more better remembered? The Hinchcliffe era, because it's better. As much as I like the Williams era, Hinchcliffe era is better. Another perfect example of, the shining knight saving the day. Remember when Russell was stepping down in 2009? Who was the person we got announced to replace him? Stephen Moffat. The fan choice, because all of Moffat's episodes in Russell's era are amazing. The Empty Child two-parter, Girl in the Fireplace, Blink, The Library two-parter, all of those masterpieces of Doctor Who, essential Doctor Who viewing, all of them amazing. If you could go to the fans and poll them in like 2008, 2009 and say, who do you want to be the new showrunner? We would have been like, Moffat, 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 Moffat. Give us Moffat. And they're like, we're giving you Moffat. And we're like, yay, they love the fans. And then what we got was a mixed bag. Y'all have heard me talk about the Moffat era. I just released my video about Matt Smith the other day. And you've heard me talk about the Capaldi era. It's a mixed bag. I mean, I don't dislike Stephen Moffat. I think he has really amazing episodes of Doctor Who. I think he has some really bad episodes of Doctor Who. But at the end of the day, I think objectively, as a Doctor Who fan, his era is disappointing compared to what we were hoping for from the work we had seen in his Russell days. Because all of his stories from the Russell T. Davies era are some of his best stories, period. They are so amazing. And his era as a whole is disappointing from that. He still has amazing episodes. Don't get me wrong. Heaven Sent's one of the best episodes of Doctor Who ever. But then he has stuff like Listen, which is utter crap. And then Hellbent, which is also not very good. So for me, the Moffat era is disappointing as a whole because it doesn't live up to the dream we had for it. Because when Stephen Moffat was announced as a showrunner, our expectations were up here. Remember that conversation from earlier? Up here, up here. Did he meet the expectations up here? Objectively, no. He did not. The Russell's era is still, I think, generally regarded as better than Stephen's era, the Moffat era. Because Russell's era had those series like 1, 3, and 4 that are either flawless or practically flawless, where I don't think Moffat has a single series that's just almost flawless. 5 is good. Really, really good. And I like others. About the only one I actually just actively dislike is 9. It still has stories I like. But they're all mixed bags. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are mixed bags. Good episodes and bad episodes. We have the same situation here with Russell T. Davies getting announced. Everybody's like, oh my God, it's Russell. He's so good. He's so good. Expectations, expectations, expectations. And if we're not careful, we're going to end up with the same thing with Stephen Moffat, where we're expecting this and it's only going to end up being this. Only time will tell. And I'm not trying to be negative. Again, I am excited about this announcement myself. I think it's great choice casting. I just have concerns. Objective concerns, because I'm old enough that I have seen this before. And I don't want to dissuade anyone. I know several of you, including the subscriber I mentioned earlier, are very excited about this. I never, ever want to dampen anyone who loves Doctor Who's excitement for it. If you're happy for it, I'm happy for you, and I'm glad you're overjoyed by the news. I'm very excited about it myself. I just want you to take a realistic approach on it. Don't get too hyped up, because if your expectations are here, that is a lot to have to live up to. So that is my thoughts on it, on the announcement, the good and the bad of Russell T. Davies coming back as the showrunner that I can think of at the moment. I would like to know what you think about my thoughts and what you think, so comment down below and give me what you think. I always enjoy chatting with you guys. Other things to do: click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications so you never miss out on a new video. I do a new video daily. I also have a Patreon if you would like to support what I do. There is a link to that down in the description below with different tiers and rewards, etc., etc., etc. Most importantly, though, thank you for watching.